All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. We do not take your time for granted, whether you're joining us live right now or you're catching the replay later on. I am so excited to be here today, and we are so grateful that you're able to take time out of your busy Saturday to be here with us. A very big thank you to you. My name is Damilola Akinshola, and I head the Programs and Strategy Department here at Go2Cyber. And today we're going to be bringing you something a little bit different from what you've previously seen us put out in terms of webinars. So this is tagged, like you can see on the screen here, Ask a Cyber Professional. And it's as simple as the topic. We have three amazing guest speakers here today who are currently working in cybersecurity right now. And they are towing three completely different paths of the field. And by the end of this session, you would have had the chance to, of course, ask them almost anything that you have in mind and you want to know. But before we get straight into that, I would like to, of course, bring in Esther. She is the Business Development Unit at Go2Cyber to give us a few words and to just set the ball rolling. Esther, you have the floor.
Hey, I hope you can hear me. Good day, everyone. Like Dami said, it's another Saturday, but this time around with a twist, and that twist is the fact that we are bringing this amazing program to your screen today. So welcome once more. Thanks for joining us. Today we'll be bringing in professionals from different career paths in cybersecurity to come talk to us. I'm sure you have your questions ready and ready to go as well. Before we get into it, I'd like to appreciate the Go2Cyber team because trust me, a lot went into planning this program and also bringing this session to you. The team has been doing a lot when it comes to organizing everything, and I really want to appreciate them. And also to our guest speakers, our amazing guest speakers, Abdul Raham, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Shalom as well. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedules to come impact, these interns, everyone that would be watching. It's a pleasure to have you on the call. And to our amazing interns, I'm sure you must have been having a great time. It's been a ride. I think for the past 9 weeks, we've been having, our time together. You've been learning, growing, just getting acquainted to cybersecurity. And I'm sure, this session will be a very, very impactful one. So buckle up and get ready to ask all your questions and to get the amazing answers from our amazing guest speakers. So welcome, and yeah, over to you, Danny. This is great.
Yes, I agree. It is indeed great. It is amazing. So thank you so much, Esther, for that wonderful intro. So I'm just going to walk you through what's actually going to happen over the next hour, because we have a bit packed in for you. We're going to start by hearing how cohort one has been doing so far. And if you're just joining us for the first time, we launched our first cohort in April, and we will be bringing in our community manager to just give you a brief rundown of what it has been like since we launched this cohort. And then we will be bringing in three of our amazing interns themselves, because honestly, there's no better way to understand this program than hearing it from those who have actually experienced it, right? And they'll be coming on to give us what it's been like, right? How it's been like. Did they enjoy the program? Are they currently enjoying the program? And just let us know, get a feel of their thoughts, right? And then we move on to the main event where we bring in our guest speakers. We have one working in GRC, and a guest speaker working in SOC, and of course, we have another guest speaker who currently works in application security. And they're going to tell us how they got into this field. What did it take for them to get into that field? What challenges did they have to overcome? What's their day-to-day activities like? We're going to see all of that unfold during the session. And once that's done, we open the floor for you, of course. But please, you can start dropping your questions right now. Uh, you can start dropping your questions right away. You don't have to wait till we open the floor for the Q&A. Okay, so let's get into it. Right now, I'm going to bring in Onyenye, who is our community manager and who at this point probably knows this cohort better than anybody at this point. And I'm sure that to our interns who's currently watching this live right now, she's a very familiar face. She's someone who has always been in your face. So she doesn't really need any introduction, to be fair. So, Onyeye, please welcome on stage. Kindly give us an update on how things have been going on your end. Welcome, Onyeye.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Onye, a community manager from Go2Cyber. I just want to share a bit about what the experience has actually been like coordinating with this cohort over the past 10 weeks. So when we started, a lot of these interns were new to this cybersecurity, coming from a different background, just curious and willing to learn. What has been amazing is that the it's about the chief. How they in the early weeks, team team tasks have been fairly guided. So, but by the time we got to our recent projects, working through real brief case studies like WannaCry and NotPetya, and having teams design their own enterprise security architecture, the quality thinking from this intent changed completely. They weren't just completing this task anymore, they were problem solving professionals who actually work in this space. We started with 47 interns, and 27 interns have been active consistently in the past 10 weeks. And I want to be honest that it's not because everything was smooth. These are people coming from school, working job, and balancing life. And staying consistent for the 10th straight week was not for 10th straight week of coursework, and team deadline is genuinely hard. So the fact that 27 put through this point says a lot about them. One thing I've noticed is how intense shows up for it, especially the our intern of the week recognition. Every time we spotlight someone's work, the response from the group is real. And there's a sense of people who are actually genuinely reaching for each other and not just going through the motions. And now they are heading into the final project, which is their capstone project, and interns are choosing things from like life awareness sessions, cybersecurity campaigns, and corporate pitch, all built around real Nigerian tech talk contest. It's the moment where everything they have learned comes together into something they build themselves. So honestly, coordinating this cohort has been a front row seat to watching people go from curious beginners to people who can actually stand behind real security work. And in few minutes, you will get to hear from these three interns. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Onye. That was a great summary of what it's been like. I personally have seen firsthand how this community has been able to grow right from the onset up until now. I've seen how you've been able to coordinate the team accordingly. So thank you so much for the work you do at Go2Cyber. You've been doing a great job, and I'm sure that the interns as well appreciate your efforts in this community. But like she rightly mentioned, we don't just want you to hear it from us. Would love to you to hear it from the interns themselves, right? So right now we're going to be bringing our interns on stage to talk to you about their experiences, right? So the first person we're going to be bringing on stage is Bagaya Paula Keeley, who leads the Cyber Night team. So Bagaya, welcome to the session. How are you doing? Hi Bagaya, can you hear me?
Hello, Dami. Am I clear now?
Hi Bagaya, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. Yes, I can.
Awesome. So would love to hear from you what your experience has been so far since you joined the
Okay.
cohort.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever everyone is. My name is Paula Kelly Bagaya. I am from Uganda, and I'm very much honored to be recognized among the most outstanding interns for this cohort. It's it's so much of an honor. Thank you so much to Go2Cyber and all our mentors. Well, I joined this program in May, as you all know, and initially starting, I have always been interested in in cybersecurity from the very time I was in university. But you know, when you don't have somebody to push you to achieve your goal, sometimes it's a little bit hard to achieve it. So I kept it in mind, but I was never doing anything to initiate it. So when I got the opportunity to join the Go2Cyber program, it was really a blessing that I was able to get mentors and also peers to help me walk through the cybersecurity journey and to start it actually. Um, I do have a background in computer science, and just like I said, I I knew that cybersecurity was my inch, but I just didn't know how to start. The program has been an amazing one. Uh, I would like to just pick out an assignment that really worked for me. And I think up to now, it's still doing wonders because, yes, I've gotten mentors from Go2Cyber, but I'm getting and I'm still going to get more mentors from the industrial coffee chats. That assignment has been amazing. Each time we had it, each week, it was it's like you would get the experience of being in the field. Just like you have created this event of the Ask Professional, I feel like it falls in the same line. You get to meet professionals in the cybersecurity journey and they share their experiences, how they started, how they're going, what they did to get them where they are. And some of them, which was most surprising, some of the professionals I've gotten to talk to are actually interested that you reach out to them. They make time for you. And I can say at the moment, I have three of them actively following up on how I'm doing. And that is so amazing. And each time you speak to somebody, they are referring you to somebody else. So I can say that assignment has done wonders. It doesn't leave you the same when you talk to a professional in a field that you'd like to go to. It keeps you invested, especially when the person that you talked to last week is coming to you next week and asking you, how is it going? Have you covered this week's assignment? What do you need from me? So in a brief moment, I think that is what has really caught my eye throughout the whole mentorship. I will not say it's the only one because we had a number of assignments, like the group assignment, which helped me engage with my peers. But the industrial coffee chat has really done wonders for me. I want to say thank you to the mentors of Go2Cyber for taking time, first of all, for allowing in our applications and choosing us to be part of the mentorship, uh, being able to answer our questions, being giving us assignments and reminding us you have this assignment, the deadline is coming up. A really, really big thank you to the Go2Cyber mentorship team for building this program and taking us seriously. To anyone that is here and wants to start out, there's still time. You can still decide to go through Go2Cyber or any other mentorship program. And all you have to do is show up. You have to make a timetable and show up. You have to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions when you can. Do ask. And allow the people in your life that are trying to push you because it makes you a better person. Thank you, Go2Cyber. Thank you, all the mentors of Go2Cyber. Thank you for the peers. I will not leave without recognizing the Team Cyber Knights. Thank you and thank you so much. I submit.
Hi, thank you so much, Paula. That was a very, very great experience that you have shared with us. I am so excited about the journey that you've had so far with Go2Cyber and the impact that it has made. And we want to, of course, encourage you to keep on and keep doing your best in the cohort. So, thank you so much once again for sharing your experience with us. And with that, I would be bringing in our next intern. Adetsoye. Welcome on screen. Happy to have you here.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, from wherever you may be. My name is Aditui Ademo Emmanuel Adewan. I don't know if repeating my words and I'm hearing myself twice.
Oh, okay. Please go on.
Hello? Okay. Okay. Hello? Can anybody
Yeah,
hear me?
hi, Aditya. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, so
Oh,
if you
okay, okay,
can,
okay, fine.
yeah, good. All right, so we'd love to hear
Um,
from you, your experience.
okay. I I started this journey far back in 2023, but due to one or two things, I stepped back. Maybe because of work, I'm into telecommunications. I'm a telecommunication field engineer. You know how it can be in Nigeria. The prayer coming from left, right, center. Even as I'm talking to you, I'm in a bush. I'm trying to set up something, but it's not easy if I'm just trying to make it so simple. But it has been a challenging time for me with GCAP for these 3 months. GCAP internship has given me the opportunity to understand not just the technical, but understand also the the cyber how cybersecurity solves real problems, real business problems. Every week has been a challenge to learn new things, and also as a lead for a particular group. It has not been easy. Most of my members are students, so it wasn't easy for me to bring people together and also face my work. Most of the time, I come back very late in the evening, and I said, no, I must do this assignment. I must go through all of this just for me to be able to learn it over and over again. Even before now, before joining the GCAP, I said, okay, maybe I should go for my Security Plus exam. But when I saw the internship, I said, okay, maybe this will be an eye opening for me on how to go about it so that I can learn a better way. But the biggest challenge was me balancing my work, studying, and leading a team at the same time. Some weeks have different deliverables, and sometimes you'll be looking for, okay, let's have people so that we can have different mind presenting at different times. But you will notice that they'll feel like, I can't do this, I have to push them, try, please, just do this, just do this. But even at that, I have to do it. But a shout out to a friend, he's a brother. I call him a friend because his name is Mojola Jesu. He has been so very wonderful. I don't know if he's on this meet now because he told me he'll be in a physical meeting where we'll be doing something else. I know he's going to go far in cybersecurity. With this GCAP, what I've seen him do, yeah, it's so wonderful. So the breakthrough I have that changed the way I think was I stopped seeing cybersecurity as just hacking or technical tools. I now see it as risk management and protecting people, systems, and businesses, whether we were building an incident response plan, conducting risk assessment, or creating our cyber safe schools project. I realize cybersecurity is just reality, just really about reducing risk and helping organization operate seamlessly and quickly. So the projects that stood out that make me so proud was the cyber safe school project, the ABC school, where the last one we did. I just had to put my head together with Mojala JC. I think we are the only two that worked on that. I review everyone, I review the work, calling in, even with my tight schedule, and we were able to deliver a fantastic work, which we still submitted. I submitted late last night, but I give glory to God we could be able to submit that and seeing something. I could build with someone, that I could work and have a good relationship and could lead a team. Even when it's not easy, I could be able to bring them together. Also, what surprised me the most was how much communication matters in cybersecurity. The chain of communication is very, very, very essential. Is very, very essential. But I've learned that explaining risk clearly, working with a team, documenting incidents, and presenting recommendation are just as important as the technical skills. Without that, a lot of things will just go wrong. So my advice would be giving to give someone that is just starting would be to not wait or feel like you are ready to start learning or ask questions. Just go ahead, try to learn, build a lab, ask questions from, like, what I like about this mentorship was trying to meet out with different people. I don't even know how that I can even chat someone before and just meet the person randomly on LinkedIn and say, please, I want to learn. Just a coffee time with you, 10 minutes of your time. It was so challenging for me, but I had to just do it. At some point, I was on field, and the woman said, "Okay, I'll just give you 15 minutes, and we'll talk." And I'm at the point of restoring a link, and I have a timeline as well. My KPI is going. The only thing I could do was, "Okay, madam, please just come. I'll give you this time. Let's do it." And she was so fantastic. She gave me the time, and I was able to learn from her very, very well. So you won't know everything at the beginning, and that is okay. Every expert started as a beginner. Just ask somebody, ask a question. You might have a different tone down, but just keep going. Just as if I tell somebody that you are failing does not mean that's the end. Like, just that's the route, that's the easiest route for you to be able to learn the very best way. And my goal is to build a career in Go2 security. I think that's where I have more strength. And starting as a SOC analyst and going into incident response and threat hunting. Now, I also want to continue learning cloud security and eventually help organizations strengthen their security posture. Um, for me, GCAP has given me more than technical knowledge. I really love that. It has given me confidence, structure, and a community of people who genuinely want to see each other succeed. Like the two other people that we have called together for this meet, I would have loved that after this meet, we still continue to see how we can push one another and see how the relationship goes on so that we can be the best from cohort one of GCAP. That's what I desire. And now I understand how cybersecurity works in real world environment and how to work as part of the security team and how to keep improving every day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can't say more than that. Just thank you. Yeah.
I think you said more than enough. So thank you so much, Adetoye. That was quite a very detailed and incredible experience from you. I think one of the things I was able to take out from what you said, which I believe is something the interns would definitely benefit from, is that every expert was once a beginner, right? Every cybersecurity professional that you see today doing amazingly well in their field, they were just like you once. They were just beginners, right? And the professionals that you'll be seeing in a few minutes now were also beginners who had absolutely no idea what they were doing in the first place. So thank you, Adetoye, for sharing that with us. And of course, the Go2Cyber community, we are solidly behind you with your goals, and we are always here to support you to ensure that you achieve them. So thank you for that. We will be bringing in our final intern on stage now. Myra, welcome. Welcome to the program.
Am I
Am I
audible?
audible?
Yes, you're audible, Myra.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
My name
Myra.
is
My
Myra
name is
Taher.
Myra Taher.
I'm the
I
team
am
lead
the
of
team
Team
lead of Team
Limitless.
Limitless.
I'm currently
I'm
pursuing
currently
a
pursuing a
bachelor's degree in
bachelor's degree in
cybersecurity at
cybersecurity
Air
at
University,
Air
Karachi.
University, Karachi.
Basically, when I
Basically, when
started
I
the journey,
started the journey,
I was
I
honestly
was
just
honestly
curious
just
about
curious
how
about how
cybersecurity works.
cybersecurity works.
Over time, the curiosity turned into a passion, like for protecting systems and understanding that how attackers link or think any about the attack. Like many beginners, I faced challenges. The technical concepts, networking fundamentals, Linux, and security tools all felt overwhelming at first, but there were the moments when I questioned whether I was learning fast enough. But then I realized the progress in cybersecurity basically comes from consistency, not perfection. I kept practicing through TryAcme labs, through CTF challenges, certificates, and very small achievements became the milestone that boosted my confidence. One of the biggest breakthroughs in my journey have been joining the Go2Cyber internship. Basically, it gave me the opportunity to move beyond theory and experience what working in cybersecurity actually looks like. During the internship, I've learned the importance of teamwork, professional communication, problem solving, and applying security concepts to the real world scenarios rather than just studying the theory part like from books. I also had the opportunity to work with amazing team on governance, risk and compliance, GRC projects. Through these projects, I've learned how organization identify risk, develop security policies, access the compliance requirements, or build stronger security practices. It showed me that cybersecurity isn't only about defending against any attack. It's about creating secure processes, managing risk, and helping organization to stay resilient. Currently, my team, Limitless, and I, as a team leader, are working on our capstone project. Basically, where we are applying everything we have learned so far. This experience has strengthened my technical skills. You know how much I love presentation. I love to do that. So this experience have strengthened my technical skills while also teaching me that project management, collaboration, or leadership, and how to solve challenges as a team. And as a team lead, I have done that. If there's one lesson I'll say that I have learned throughout this journey, so that would be that cybersecurity is a field of continuous learning. You don't need to know everything on day one, but what matters is just staying curious and practicing consistently and being willing to learn from every challenge and every mistake. I'm very grateful for the opportunity that Go2Cyber has given me, and I've been so far thankful to all my mentors and teammates and excited to continue learning and growing in this field. Thank you.
Thank you, Myra. That was really wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I want to say a very big thank you as well for the efforts you have been putting in as a team lead and, of course, contributing to the cohort. I There's one thing I was able to pick out from what you said, which is the fact that cybersecurity is a field of continuous learning, and it's something that we all should take home, even as professionals working in that field. It's not something you just learn and expect to be perfect all the time. No, it's something that you always have to continuously study and improve yourself. So thank you so much, Mara, for sharing that with us. We want to wish you the best. We want you to also know that you have a community behind your back. We're here to support you in whatever journey you have ahead. So
Thank you.
thank you for coming on. All right, so I think the time that we've all been waiting for is here. I am so excited for this, and I'm sure that we all are excited too. We are going to be moving to our guest speakers right now. They've been backstage for a while now, and I'm sure that you're also excited to come on air. We've got someone working in GRC, like I mentioned. We've also got someone working in SOC and someone in application security. And so these are three different paths. And of course, this means we'll be getting to hear three different experiences from these three professionals, right? So I'm going to be starting with the introduction. Of course, we need to know who we're bringing on stage. And the first person, of course, is going to be Shalom. Shalom is a cyber defense associate at Payaza. She is a security analyst as well, who has over 3 years of experience in SOC environments, incident response, and digital forensics. I could read her bio all day long, but I believe it will be better if you hear it from her yourself. Okay, so I'll be bringing Shalom on stage in just a minute now. Great. Welcome, Shalom. Happy to have you here.
Hello, Damilola. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation to be here.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. So now I'm going to be bringing on our two remaining speakers to join Shalom on stage. So
Hello, Damilola. You are muted.
oh, apologies. All right, so now we're going to be bringing on somebody else on stage, someone you already know, right? She's also the head of business development unit at Go2Cyber. But today, she's also going to be doubling as our GRC guest speaker. And we have Esther Ogechi on board with us today. And Esther is someone that I have gotten to work with for the past few years. And what I can tell you about her on a personal level is that she is someone who is very dedicated, someone who is astute, and someone who is a go getter. And when we were looking for who we could bring to give you the best, we thought, it's best Esther handles this particular role herself. So thank you so much, Esther, for, of course, agreeing to be here. So I'm going to be bringing Esther on stage right now. Hi, Esther. Welcome. Happy to have you here.
Pleasure. Always a pleasure to be here and to actually share my experience. And I'm glad to be here as well.
We're also happy to have you. Thank you so much. And finally, we are going to bring in someone that, if you are very familiar with the application security landscape, you probably would have heard of him before. A very good friend of mine, Abdurrahman Oyekunle. It was quite hard getting him on board because of his busy schedule, but he was, generous enough to lend us, a few minutes of his time to come on board to share with our interns his experience so far in the application security landscape. So Abdurrahman Oyekunle is a cybersecurity professional who specializes in penetration testing, application security, and red team operations. A couple of our interns have always been asking for someone who could, you know, be there as a mentor in terms of asking or answering the questions rather on red teaming operations, penetration testing. So now is the best time to, of course, ask your questions. It was really hard getting these people on board, just so you know, right? If you want to speak to them on the professional level, you're gonna have to spend a lot of money. So this is a very great opportunity to actually, ask them whatever you have in mind that you want to know. So without saying much more, I would love to bring in Abdurrahman on stage. Hi, Abdurrahman. Welcome.
Hi, Danny. Thanks for
We
having me.
can, yeah, we're happy to have you here. I can't see you. I don't know if it's just me, but we can't
Oh,
see you.
sorry. Yes, I know.
Oh yeah, we can see you now. Um, awesome. Okay, great. Now, okay, let me just. Oh, sorry. Give me a minute. Great. So before we, of course, start asking questions, which is like the major reason why these interns are here today, we want to we want to hear from you, the professionals who has been in this field. Just give us a brief intro of yourself. I could have read your bio, but that would do no justice to what you would have said yourself. So let us know what you do, who you are as a person, and what you have to say to the interns currently watching you right now. So I think I'd love to start from Shalom.
Okay, good morning once again to everyone. I'm Shalom. So I think that's like the first way to introduce myself. I'm Shalom, and anyone on the call or any of your interns listening, I'm a proud cyber girl. So that's where my journey started. My journey started 5 years ago when I joined the Cyber Girls Cohort in 2021. And I started training to be a SOC analyst. I actually wanted to do pen testing, but I think I was too scared to dare into that. So I thought SOC analysis was going to be an easier path or maybe a more straightforward path. And so I just took that. And ever since then, I started self learning after the training finished in 2022 February, and I went ahead to start self-learning to become a SOC analyst. And in 2023, I joined Ecentry's internship for 6 weeks, and after the internship, I got employed with Ecentry as a SOC analyst. I worked at Ecentry for over 2 years, close to 3 years, as a SOC analyst. And SOC analysis or cyber defense is actually really broad and has a lot of domains or subdomains under it. I want to specialize, and I've been trying to specialize in digital forensics and incident response. I've had my hands dirty with malware analysis, threat hunting, threat intelligence, and all of those. And I think that's about me career wise. So yeah, I think I'll pause there.
Thank you, Shalom. That was beautiful. I think we got to see you beyond, of course, the professional aspect as well. Thank you so much for that. Esther, you want to go next?
Sure. So again, I'm Esther, and right now I'm doubling as the co-founder and head of business development for Go2Cyber, as well as the business development executive for GRC at Platview Technologies. So to just give you a brief overview of what my journey has been so far, I think it all started out during my NYSC year. I studied human anatomy actually. And during that year, I kind of like had a rude awakening, and that was that, I needed to actually pivot to grow in my career, especially, being a Nigerian and living in Nigeria. So I needed a career that is future proven, like that is secure and I can grow in. So that was, how I got to speak with a counselor who introduced me to cybersecurity and, mentioned that cybersecurity might be a great path for me. And I did do my research. And after that research, I kind of like, understood the concept and actually was aligned with what cybersecurity entailed and what it hopes to achieve and the problem that it solves. So I started with the Google Cybersecurity certification course. I think I did that for over a year because I was trying to juggle it with my NYSC and also other things that I had going on. And after that, I also got to be a cyber girl. So Shalom, it's a pleasure to actually have you on the call. So I joined the 2024 cohort actually. And yeah, I did start out as a DevSecOps engineer or analyst, but I knew, early on that, that was not the path for me because I I was much more interested in the intersection, and that's where risk comes in and how it informs decision across every other aspects of cybersecurity. So that was how I got into no GRC actually. So after my what's it called Cyber Girls program, I was opportune to actually work as the heads of business development for Caristech, yes, please. And that was, how I started out as a cybersecurity and a GRC professional, actually working in the field and getting my hands dirty with clients' work and all of that. So I think after 7 months, I think it was about 7 months, I got to work now as, a business development executive at Platview Technologies, working with our GRC client. And so far, my work has been focused on cyber resilience because I believe that, that's a very important aspect of cybersecurity, where we look at not just the technical aspects, but also every other aspects, looking into the risk, the governance, the compliance, and how it all ties together within organizations. So yeah, so far, I've been helping organizations to strengthen their governance, helping them to navigate their risks, improving their risk posture, being able to manage threats, vulnerabilities, and just what that could result to, if those threats or those risks could materialize or should materialize, and then also helping them to meet regulatory requirements. And that cuts across, different industries, cutting across different standards and also regulatory requirements. So I think that's about it for me. So far, my journey has really been interesting, and I've quite grown so much when it comes to cybersecurity. And I really appreciate, the opportunities that I got early on in my career to actually impact lives and also impact organizations. So yeah, and I'm really much happy and excited to share my experience with everyone on the call and those that are watching as well.
Thank you, Esther, for that. I have questions of my own, but I think I'll save it for after the call. All right, without wasting too much time, would love to move to, of course, our application security speaker to give us a brief intro about himself. Abdurrahman, you have the floor.
Hello, everybody. My name is Abdurrahman. Yeah, I'm currently a senior penetration tester at Moneypoint, and I have over 5 years of experience. But I started a long time. That was when I was in the university. I started by doing CTFs. Then we didn't have mentors like you do now. We didn't have structured parts. So I started by going through I just they had this community. We had this community in school. We had GDSC. So they talked about cybersecurity there. Though I studied cybersecurity, but then there was still no path, no guide. So the president of our association then just said, "Oh, let's participate for this competition," and that was how um they organized an event where they were teaching how to solve challenges. Not like they were even giving in-depth knowledge. They were just teaching how to solve those CTF challenges. And then I participated my first CTF challenge. My first CTF competition. We became seventh after doing studies and all of that. I would go to the labs at night. So yeah, that was how everything kick started. Although I knew I wanted to do something related to hacking, but then I did not know where to start. That's when we were using Temox then, where we would use our phone to try to hack. We were just running scripts like that. We just find a script online that maybe find certain things about you, and then we just fire it off. So that was how everything started for me. And then I started self-learning until I started finding structured path. So the kind of things I would do is go to previous CTF challenges and then go and look for write-ups, articles related to them. So once I've gotten those articles, Even though I don't understand most of the things there, I start picking them one by one. Like for example, now if a particular article speaks about it's a particular challenge article speaks about SQL injection now, that they used SQL injection to maybe get certain things. But then I don't even know what SQL injection is. So I start picking them one by one. I go and start googling about SQL injection, start understanding what it's all about. Then I come back to the challenge and then try to solve it myself. So that was how everything began. And now I have experience with mobile penetration testing, web stroke API penetration testing, cloud penetration testing, now LLM penetration testing. So basically, I do all kinds of penetration testing. Oh, I do network too. I do AD. I'm also good at blue teaming due to the challenges I've solved. So when it comes to forensics, analyzing pickup files, analyzing event logs, all of that, I do have experience with that too. So yeah, that's basically everything about me.
Thank you so much, Abdurrahman. That's quite a lot of things added to you. And personally, I have learned a lot from you. You've been a mentor to me as well. So I want to say thank you so much for the the impact that you've created in the cybersecurity community. If you want to know more about our guest speakers, please, Onyeye has dropped the links to their LinkedIn page so you can follow them, because I know this session is not going to be enough for you to ask all your questions. And I know some of you might be shy to ask questions, so you might want to connect with them privately and reach out to them, ask for a coffee chat, just like you've always been doing with our previous tasks. So just ask for a coffee chat, and I'm sure they'll be happy to honor that. So thank you so much, Abdurrahman, for that. Without wasting much time, I would start with the questions that some interns have sent with us beforehand while we wait for other live questions on stream. So the first question I have right here, which I would be displaying on screen, is I think this is directed to Esther. A lot of people hear GRC and think it's just paperwork. What does that actually look like day to day? I think that's also a gray area that I had to deal with when I was getting started into cybersecurity. So, Esther, please, I think this question is directed towards you.
Dami. So they are actually not far from the truth, if I'm being honest. But then for you to actually come up with an adequate paperwork that speaks to the situation within the organization. Let's say, for example, for people within audits, you'd know that they have to come up with audit reports at the end of their process, or at the end of the audits. Then that's paperwork. What else do they have to do? But then again, outside the paperwork, there's also the technical aspects of cybersecurity. If you don't actually, or of GRC, if you don't understand the governance within the organization, if you don't understand how risks can, manifest within that organization, if you don't understand exactly everything within the cybersecurity space within that organization, if I can say so, then you are not able to come up with the right paperwork that speaks to the issues or that speaks to the particular situation within the organization. So if I'm to be honest, yes, there is paperwork involved, but you also need to have a deep expertise when it comes to, VAPT, for example, for you to be able to interpret the outcomes of the reports that they come up with at the end of their assessment. You have to be able to identify risk, perform risk assessment, be able to interpret regulatory requirement or standards, anyone, for you to actually be able to implement. So we don't just do paperwork, although it's part of what we do and it's sort of like a core of what we do, but at its entirety, we also are very much involved in preserving and also protecting the organization, and that involves us having technical knowledge as well. So I hope I'm able to do justice to the question. But okay, just to give you a brief overview of what a day-to-day actually looks like. So for some of us, I work with clients, right? So we get a lot of requests, be it be it implementing a standard, be it meeting a regulatory requirement. So, for example, we have the Nigerian Data Protection Act. You're supposed to implement the requirements of that regulation. So, if you don't even understand what the regulation requires, you're unable to interpret it to now actually implement it, right? So that involves some type of technical expertise, being able to understand data protection, because you're unable to prove that the organization is handling data in a way that is secure. You're unable to prove that the organization is actually following the requirements or the guidelines of a particular standard, or meeting the requirements of a regulation. So just the same applies to every other aspect of GRC, be it third party risk management, be it we have some people working in operational risk, be it audit, you name it. We actually sometimes do have to get involved with the technical personnel within organizations. And then to some extent, we also have to come up with policies. And I think that's where the bulk of the paperwork lies, where you just have to set the rules that guides the day-to-day operation within the organization, so that everyone knows the requirement, or what they are required to do within that organization, or what is acceptable within that organization. And I think that's where the bulk of the paperwork. But when it comes to risk, because I think a lot of people combine governance, risk, and compliance. There are three different aspects of GRC, but they form the core of GRC, right? So some people work in governance, some people work in risk, some people work in compliance, and together, they make up the GRC function within organizations. So for risk, we have people being able to first off identify the threats that could basically exploit vulnerabilities within organizations to manufacture into a risk, and being able to first off implement controls, which is very, very technical. When you look at some of the standards, be it Annex A, be it NIST, SOC, any other standards that have controls in them that you are required to implement, you find out that it's actually very, very technical. And without the right knowledge, you're unable to even understand what is going on, to actually find out if the controls are performing as they should in some cases, and if you are able to implement the controls in the right way. So not to bore us, but there's a whole lot that actually goes on in GRC that is beyond the paperwork. So yeah, that's my response to that question, and I hope it was adequate and it addressed the question that the intern asked.
Yes, thank you so much, Hester. I believe that was quite comprehensive enough for the question. We have a live question. Let me just bring that on the screen. So, this is from Myra. If you were starting from scratch in 2026, what roadmap would you follow to land your first cybersecurity role? So I think this is not specific to a role. Anyone wants to take that? I think we can just take briefly from everyone here. Shalom, you want to go first?
Okay. Confirm you can hear me. Okay. So if I was starting from scratch, I will do more hands-on roadmaps. Roadmaps are dicey in cybersecurity. I don't think there's a one size fits all in cybersecurity. So roadmaps are one size fits all. They guide how you go the journey, but Abdurrahman's journey is different from Esther's journey and is different from mine. So we did not follow roadmaps. We did what worked for us. I would say that in 2026, what would work for you, it's hands-on and evidence that you are hands-on. So evidence that you are building something, evidence that you are hacking something, evidence that you are analyzing a malware. So when I talk evidence, I mean you have pictures to show that you analyze something, you write a report, you make it into a document or into a post and you post it. You show that beyond I studied this, I actually did this thing. So beyond I learned how to run Nmap scan, I actually ran an Nmap scan. Beyond what is a risk, what is a threat, what is a I actually tried to understand and actually whether presented a risk or something or attacked something and caused some kind of issue to it, or evidence of work. So I think that we have a lot of knowledge out there. We have YouTube, we have certifications, we have training platforms, we have internship platforms, and there are a lot out there. They will give you information on steps or on how to do this, how to do that. But an employer wants to see that you carry these skills. So if you were to land your first role, I would say that when I go through your LinkedIn, I should see that you are doing the work. I should see that you are actually practicing what you are learning. So you're not just learning theoretically, you have the practical knowledge. I think for me, that is it. But roadmaps can be restrictive. At the beginning it could look great, but they can be confusing. They can be You can be all over the place because you are following a roadmap. So I would say um first analyze what you love doing. If you are starting out, what do I love doing? Do I love hacking? Hacking is very interesting to everybody. Everybody wants to hack, but is that really what I love? Can I do it? Or do I love SOC analysis? And what are the skills required for each of these domains? GRC, do I love that? And then build those skills. Don't just follow any roadmap, but be specific about yourself. I don't know if I'm saying what I'm supposed to say, but I think that's that.
Thank you, Shalom. That was quite, I think I also agree with that because it can be a bit tricky when you're dealing with, when you have one particular roadmap you're following. So, just like Shalom said, you shouldn't restrict yourself to a roadmap. Everyone has this different paths to follow. But let's hear from Abdurrahman. What do you think about this particular question?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Shalom, for that. I think Shalom has said most of it, but this is how I would approach it if I were to start from scratch. So I would start by figuring out what I actually want. Do I want penetration testing? Do I want GRC? Do I want SOC? And then understanding those things, I start picking specific ones I want to start with. Whether I want to start with mobile penetration testing, web penetration testing, network penetration testing. So any of those, once I figured out, okay, this is what I want. I want web penetration testing. I mean, there is AI everywhere. I can easily ask it, how do I could easily ask it for maybe resources where I can get free resources related to maybe web penetration testing. And from there, or maybe I see Port Swigger, and then I start going through Port Swigger labs. Um, I start letting people know what I do, like Shalom said. So maybe I go there, I go to post on LinkedIn. I talk about the kind of things I've done, talk about, oh, I solved this lab today, just talk about things like that. And while I do the talking, I also try to connect with people that are already in the field. I try to connect with um, people I look up to, people that I know that, oh, these are good people. These are people that are doing well in this field. So I start doing all of that. And if I have money for certifications, if I take them, but I don't make certifications like a major thing. So I'm studying to know and understand. But then if certifications come, then fine. And if I'm able to pay for certifications, it would actually be nice for me to just take a few cents from my pocket and then pay for a certain certification. Let's say the OSCP, for example, it has its own learning path. So I can just take that too and then take the certifications. So that's basically what I would do if I would start from scratch. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, I think Myra is listening, so I believe you have. Esther, you want to add anything to that? Thank you so much, Abdurrahman, for that as well. Esther, you want to add anything to that?
A brief one. Okay. So for me, I think when it comes to my journey, it's been amazing for me. So I would speak from my experience, right? Firstly, I would say start with the basics. Get the fundamentals right. You cannot magically become a professional cybersecurity analyst or whatever you want to be without actually getting your fundamentals right. Start with the concept of cybersecurity. How it works for me is when I understand the concept on which something is built on, I'm able to now translate it to what I want to do. So, for instance, when I understand how risks work in cybersecurity, what risk is, what threats are, what vulnerabilities are, I can now practically implement it in my work as a GRC person. So I would say start with the basics, and like my other amazing speakers have said, don't follow a roadmap because everyone's journey can't be the same. We all are on a different path, going to different destinations. So our roadmap shouldn't be the same. But try as much as possible to get the fundamentals right. If you could join a program, a mentorship program, any of those amazing programs that are out there. For me, I was opportuned to be a part of the Cyber Girls program, and it actually shaped my career up until now. So if you can be part of that, it doesn't just have to be about learning. It also has so much to do with getting to meet the right people, be it peers, mentors. They can guide you better, as we are doing on this call. I think that played a huge part in me being able to uh move and actually get or land a role in cybersecurity. And then also, like the other guest speakers have said, you have to determine early where you want to play. There's a whole lot of fields when it comes to cybersecurity. You can't do it all, but when you pick a part and you specialize in that part, it makes it easier for you to actually become very knowledgeable and skilled in that part for you to now be able to land a role. And then you need to, again, like they have said, build publicly, learn publicly, share your experience, share everything you're learning. That way you can be able to showcase to anybody that you are actually doing the work. I think for me, I was able to land my recent role because I was open. I was everywhere, sharing my expertise and my knowledge, and especially on LinkedIn. And I was opportune to get like an opportunity to actually work in cybersecurity. So if you can share your experience, share what you're working on, what you're learning, it would help people to ascertain if you have the right skills to actually perform the job or do the work that is required. So that would be all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much to us because I know that you've done great justice to that question, and I know that Myra has gotten the best possible answers. So thank you so much. You have a couple of live questions coming in now. I would be showcasing the next one. Okay, give me a minute. So this is from the bloodline. Maybe if you're dropping questions, you could like tag it with your name so we could know what this is coming from. But this question says, what makes a beginner stand out during internship and job applications? I think this is, of course, still directed to everyone. If you have anything you want to say, how it was for you when you were starting out, when you were applying. So, thank you. Shalom, please.
Okay, so cybersecurity is an ever evolving field. New trends are coming out, new job titles are coming out. Then there's more advancements with the jobs that are currently available. What would make you stand out beyond what we've spoken just earlier on about building or evidence that you've built to make you stand out? Beyond when everybody is talking about what they've studied or what they've learned, you are saying what you actually practiced that will make you stand out. Another thing, curiosity will make you stand out. How how curious are you about what is going on? So how are you able to tell them that, I am able to keep up with the happenings and the trends? How do you do that? Oh, I attend webinars, or I read articles. I have subscribed to newsletters. I am gaining on skills by running labs. I'm doing some everyday challenge. You're telling them that beyond what I already have, I am learning every day. I think if I'm an employer and you come to me and you can prove to me that you are learning, you have not stopped learning, that you're not just going to watch a video, but you're also practicing what the video said. You're also learning from industry professionals, or you signed up for one newsletter or the other, or you are up to a CTF or something like that. You're just showing me that you are learning continually. I think it would make me want to have you in my team, because nobody can take away learning from cybersecurity. You have to keep learning. Abdulrahman has been in the field for 5 years. I'm sure that he's still learning. I am learning every day, and I feel like I'm not even doing enough. I know that Esther is one form of learning or the other. You're either taking a certification, or you're taking a course, or you're into something that is an everyday, whether you're running labs every day just to keep yourself relevant, because you have skills you want to improve, you have skills you want to learn. So as a beginner, I think it's something you can start up, you can pick up early. You don't have to wait to have a job to start learning. Start learning from where. So for me, I would emphasize on curiosity and learning. These two words. You just have to be curious to learn too. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that as well, Shalom. Curiosity is something that you just cannot afford not to have when it comes to applying for cybersecurity roles. Abdurrahman, what do you have to say about this question?
Okay. What makes a beginner stand out during internship and job applications? For internships, I would say be curious and be more proactive. You engage, you ask questions, like Shalom said, you do things rather than just being laid back. You do things, you also make sure you're determined, because there are times where things would get tough and you'd feel like, oh, let me just give up on this internship. You just keep pushing. So I could call that discipline. So you continue working on it and making sure you see it through. So that's for internships. When it comes to job applications, really nowadays, the ways in which people get jobs, it's either through networking, that maybe people reaching out to you or you reaching out to people. And that's for beginners, because honestly, to find an entry level role is really hard for beginners nowadays. Some would require you to have OSCP for just entry level, and that's very absurd. So um there are two ways in which you can do that. You reach out to people, and then the other way is to make sure you tailor your CV based on that particular application. Because there are times where all these ATS, all these HRs, they check for things like experience and certifications. So if you can get certifications, and if you cannot, you try to tailor your CV based on the application, not just use a generic CV to just apply for everything you see. So if for example you're applying for a penetration testing role, you talk more about penetration testing in your CV. So that's basically how to stand out during job applications. And to actually stand out now, you need to have done things related to that thing. So if it is not related, maybe you've worked on certain real world things. Like for example, now maybe you've gone into bug bounty, you've worked on certain applications, or you have a particular tool. So those things too can also help you stand out during job applications. So yeah, that's basically what makes you stand out during internship and job applications.
Thank you. That was very insightful, Abdurrahman. Esther, a few words you want to add to that?
I think okay. I think the two, I mean, both Shalom and Abdulrahman actually have covered and answered the question adequately. First, I would just like to emphasize on proof of work. They say show, don't tell. If you can't showcase that you're able to do these things, nobody would believe whatever you're telling them during job applications, right? So I've had a couple of interviews in the past, and my focus has always been, have you been able to do this in person? And also, the outcomes that, those tasks you were able to achieve. So I think so far, I would say put in the work, uh, showcase your work, be out there. Don't, because you're not getting the right opportunities, pause or stop, putting yourself out there, posting, or just being active and proactive, like Abdul Raham said. And then also continuous learning, like Shalom has said. The field keeps evolving every day, new threats, new um, vulnerabilities, new things coming up every day. We have AI wave going on now. So you need to get yourself acquainted with all of this and just keep learning. And I'm sure that something will open up. And then also, I can't, overemphasize the importance of networking. Again, like Abdul Rahman said, I think I got my first opportunity through, networking. So for some of us that we are currently based in Lagos and maybe Abuja as well. There's like a lot of all these meetups, a lot of cybersecurity events that are free that you can attend. So make sure to attend those events, connect with people, just share your experience, your expertise, and then something actually opens up, I would say, because people like to connect with people, not a piece of paper, maybe a CV or whatnot. So, but yeah, try to put yourself out there and just be determined. It will take a while. It's quite different for everyone. Some people got their first role after 6 months, some people after a year, some people after 2 years. So the path and the roadmap is not the same for everyone. But don't give up, keep pushing, and I'm sure that definitely something will open up for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther. That was quite beautiful. I think I'd like to add a little bit to that. Just buttressing on what you said, it's important that you show your work, basically. And especially with the influx of people who are coming into this space right now, you need to be able to differentiate yourself from every other person. And one of the ways you can do that is to be hands on, basically show your work, right? Prove that you just don't know this thing, you know how to get this thing done. And this could mean being on LinkedIn, having a blog, having a podcast, whatever it is to just get your work out there. Please do it. And another thing that the speakers have emphasized is networking. You cannot not network. It is very, very important. I think this is not just specific to cybersecurity alone. Even though it's very hard to it's tricky to get an entry level role when it comes to cybersecurity. It's something that you just have to do. And this is why we have ensured that our interns take networking really seriously. It's something that they do weekly, reaching out to professionals in the field and ensuring that they have a coffee chat with them. So I hope we've been able to answer your question in terms of how you can stand out when it comes to internship and job applications. All right, so we have a lot of questions. I think we now have specific questions relating to our speakers here. So I would be, let me see. Okay, let's take the specific questions. We also have general questions, but let's take the specific questions first, and then we'll take the general questions later. So this is Tech by Dami. Tech by Dami says, walk us through your day-to-day lifestyle on what you do as a SOC analyst, and what advice do you have for someone that do not have real life applications on what he or she is learning? Shalom, I think this is for you.
Okay. Day to day lifestyle of what I do as a SOC analyst. Um, SOC analysis majorly is monitoring security tools. So security tools like SIM tools, XDR, EDR tools, WAF tools. So I'm talking security information and event management tools. I'm talking extended, it doesn't matter, but EDRs and web application firewalls tools and all of that, they are different. You would hear Splunk, you would hear Azure for same tools, you would hear Alien Vault, whatever the name is, because different environment, different SIM tools, different XDR, different EDRs, different WAF tools, but they do similar things. What they do is collect logs from different sources and bring into one screen, so you are able to view and analyze. So what you're doing is analyzing these logs. So logs are basically generated when activities happen on a device. So your laptop right now has logs on it based off the actions you're carrying out. So when you logged in on your device, there was a log that was kept. Change your password, a log was kept. Access certain things, logs are being kept. So what I am doing as a SOC analyst is to check those logs for any form of suspicious activity or even malicious activity. I analyze these logs and then report them. Reporting in an MSSP environment would be that I am sending out a ticket to my client to say, oh, I noticed this on your environment. What is this legitimate or not? In a client environment or in-house, for instance, pay as where I work, it would likely be reaching out to the person that is carrying out that activity. So I realized that an admin changed their password. I could reach out to them to say, oh, I saw a password change. Did you carry out the activity? So logs basically keep tab, or yeah, informations about actions. So I am analyzing that. As a SOC analyst, you are doing more of analysis and reporting. So that is that as a SOC analyst. But so SOC analysis is one, but we have cyber defense as a whole. So when you talk cyber defense, there are other domains. I had mentioned that during my introduction. So we have threat intelligence, we have threat hunting, we have malware analysis, we have digital forensics, we have incident response, all under cyber defense. We have SOC analysis under cyber defense. But as a SOC analyst, majorly you are monitoring logs, analyzing them, and reporting them. And then what advice would I have for someone without real life applications? Build your real life experience. What I mean is that set up your labs, set up your SIM tool. For instance, Azure is open source. You could set up Splunk, collect logs from endpoints. Endpoints could be other virtual machines on your hypervisor, collect logs from them and analyze them, raise tickets as though you were working as a SOC analyst. Raise tickets. Oh, I saw this, I saw that you changed your password at 1 a.m., or we noticed that this admin's account's password was changed, and after that we noticed that this admin deleted a user's account or edited a user's privilege. We want to check to be sure that this is allowed, or this is permitted, or this is something that is known. So analyze, do your own thing, like build your own skills from ground up. So I would say, for instance, you can run Splunk on your device right now and collect logs from your device right now and analyze those logs. When I say analyze, look at the timestamp, look at the event ID, look at the logon type. What does logon type means? What does this event ID mean? What is it saying? What is this action? What does it mean in an enterprise environment? And do your own research, understand these things. So now when you come on an interview and they're asking you, oh, have you worked with sim tools, you can say, yes, I've worked with sim tools. And you're asked, where did you work with it? Oh, I set up Splunk just 2 weeks ago, and these were some of the, I saw that a process was created, I saw that a file was deleted. Or you do your own thing. So you can run Splunk, you can clear out your security logs, and Splunk will bring it out for you that, oh, security logs were cleared. And you do the research, oh, what happened, what changed, and all of that. And you can put it on your CV as a project you carried out, or you can send it out on LinkedIn as a project you're carrying out. And that's how I would say you can build real life applications or real life experience.
Thank you so much, Shalom. That was quite detailed and comprehensive, and I'm sure Tech by Dami has gotten a well-rounded answer to the question. We have a lot of questions actually. I doubt we'll be able to take these questions today, but there's one directed to Abdurrahman. Abdurrahman, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, me too. This is from someone whose name I cannot pronounce. So it says, what do you wish someone had told you before becoming a pen tester, and what's a day to day look like?
The one thing I wish somebody had told me before becoming a pen tester is the pressure that comes with it. So if there is maybe a new product, you still have to deliver, like, because of that the deadline. There's usually a deadline for all of these things. And another thing is the fact that every new technology that comes out, we still have to learn, understand, and then try to break it. So that is one thing that I wish somebody had told me before becoming a pen tester. And what's a day to day like for me? A day to day, I work at Money Point currently. So the first thing we do like a stand up after all of that. Then when we want to run a pen test, we reach out to the EM, that's the engineering manager. So we reach out to the EM, we request for assets that we would be testing, because MoneyPoint currently has so many products. I'm sure most people only know about the MoneyPoint web application. We have Money World, we have Money5, we have a lot of products. We have more than five. So we reach out to the engineering manager in charge of those products. We collect the assets that are in scope of that particular product. Then we work on them. We run a pen test on them. Okay, sorry, I skipped something. So after we collect the assets in scope, we try to understand the application. We collect test credentials. That's if test credentials is needed, and that means we cannot create credentials. So we understand the application. After understanding the application, then we move to testing. We do a static analysis testing. We do dynamic analysis testing. So we test after testing the application, we report vulnerabilities. After reporting vulnerabilities, then we now write an actual report. Those are for the executives. So that's basically what a day today look like actually.
Thank you so much, Abdurrahman, for shedding light on that. Zach, I hope you've been able to get an answer to your question on this. There is a follow-up question for you, Abdurrahman, so please still be here.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm
I'm just
here.
going to show that on screen right here. So this is from Kayode Daniel. He says, for someone going into penetration testing, which one is advisable to start with? Network penetration testing, mobile or web penetration testing?
Honestly, I would advise you go for please sorry, can you mute yourself? My voice is echoing. Okay, so I would advise you go for web penetration testing. And the reason is that a lot of people nowadays, they all have web applications to test. So you can meet one of your friends, you can test it, you can go into bug bounty, but you cannot do that with network. You only have to just test through labs. So for web now, you can earn money. That's if you're in bug bounty, you can decide to go into bug bounty, you can earn money from it. You can meet people with startups, and that's a good way to like build a reputation to network. You can reach out to startups that would not have the money to actually pay actual professional. I'm not saying you're not a professional, but then professionals with a lot of experience. So you can reach out to startups and tell them you want to do maybe a free pen test, because I also did free pen test at some point. So you can reach out to them to do free pen tests for them. And when you give them solid bugs, then they would want to call you the next time. And this time around, you can now decide to charge them. So it depends on how you want to go about it. But basically, I would pick web penetration testing before moving to mobile, and then I can learn network afterwards. So yeah, that's what I would advise you to start with.
Thank you so much, Kayode. I hope Abdurrahman has been able to do justice to your question. We are running way, way beyond time, so I would like to just ask maybe two more questions, and then you can follow up with the speakers later on to ask your questions, right? Because we can't take all those questions right now. So let me bring this up. So Bagaya says, looking back, is there anything you would have done differently early in your career, and why? So I think we'll just take briefly from everyone here. Esther?
Right. So I think for me, I've had a great run so far. But if there was one thing I could have done differently, it would be for me to actually determine the path that I want to be on and focus on that. So starting out, like I mentioned earlier, I started out in DevSecOps. Wanted to be a cloud security engineer at some point. I was also looking into SOC small, small. But yeah, so I'd say for me to actually focus on a part and then start to build out my experience, my skills, my knowledge in that part. It actually takes quite a number of, or would I say, actually takes quite a lot of time. Yeah, that would be the right thing to get hands-on or to be very practical and experienced in a particular path in cybersecurity. So take, for example, GRC. I would always speak from a GRC perspective because I just work in GRC. But yeah, speaking from a GRC perspective, it takes a lot of time for you to get conversant with a lot of things. And that's speaking to the different standards that we have, speaking to different regulatory requirements, and all that you need to do to actually stand out in the field. So if there was anything I could have done differently, it would be for me to specialize early in my career and then to focus and build out my skills and experience in that part. And then also, I wasn't really active in sharing the work I was doing. Yes, I was building projects back end, but then I thought somehow, people would always discover how amazing I was at these things. But um, I think when I started out as a cyber girl, it's one of the things that confidence that CS Ecola CS always hammered to us was for us to put ourselves out there, promote yourself because nobody else would. So I started posting more, started putting my work out there, started going out, being in front of the people that mattered, the people that might actually change my career. So, and I also took networking seriously. Starting out, I didn't. I'm actually an introverted person. So going out, just something I'm not very, very conversant with doing, but I started going out more, started meeting people, interacting with them, asking intelligent questions. And I think that was how like I mentioned earlier, I landed my first role in cybersecurity, and so far it's been a great one. So I'll say first, just to recap, pick a specific career path and stay on that path until you become very, very practical, very experienced in that part. Also put your work out there just so that the right people can find you through the right channels. And then also put yourself out there, meet people, network, and basically share the value that you can add to any organization. So I would say that, be something I could have done differently starting out.
Shalom, you have something you want to add to this? Hi, Shalom. Okay, I think she's having a bit of a network issue. Abdurrahman?
I think mine is the same as OBJ. But I won't exactly say I would have done anything different too, because I still, my voice is echoing. Okay, so honestly, it's the same as Ogechi. I was dabbling in everything, but then I loved every bit of experience. And because of that experience, I've won so many CTF competitions because I dabbled in forensics, reverse engineering. I dabbled in a lot of things, but then I'm still grateful for those things. So I would have loved to still go through those parts I did. But yeah, it's mostly the same thing as Ogechi. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Abdurrahman, for that. Shalom, you're back with us. Let's have you.
Okay, I had a bit of network issue. If I was to start differently, I would dare more, I'll be less scared. So I had a lot of things I had used to limit myself, and so I would say to anybody on the call now, when I started my journey, I didn't have a degree yet. I had an NCE, and so I would say, oh, I can't apply for this job, this role. Oh, I have this thing. I'm limited. I don't have a degree yet. They would not take me. And no argument. I had jobs that rejected me because I did not have a degree. But it didn't mean that that was the only thing. I limited myself a lot. So if I was to start differently, I would not care about my limitation. While I pursue my degree, I will go full on. I will just go all out there. So that's something. And I would not care what my mind was telling me. So a lot of times, while you grow your skills, your mind will try to limit you, will try to play some kind of games with you. I like that I have a cyber sister here. She would know that one thing CS would hammer on is you can do it, go out there, it doesn't matter what you feel like. imposter syndrome is not a problem. Just talk about what you need to do what you need to do. So if I would start out right now again, I would fight my mind. I will succeed in my mind first before succeeding physically or out there. So I would say I will be confident to build my skills, put my skills out there, apply for those jobs. Or I look at the job description, I have just maybe 60% of what they are requiring. I will apply anyways. What's the worst that will happen? I would receive a no and I'll be fine. And maybe I would have learned from that, or I would cancel that as 1 over whatever the number is before I get my job, and I'll be fine. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Something I was able to pick from what you said is confidence. Be confident in yourself. It's really, really tough breaking into something. And I think it's not just limited to cybersecurity alone. If you're starting something from the first time, it's always very hard. And you're going to get to a point where sometimes it seems like everything is going fine, and then you meet a kind of challenge or hindrance, and then you think that this is the end for you, but no, it's just a stepping stone. It's just a thing you have to overcome, and knowing that it's something you're expecting would give you that confidence to go on when you meet certain challenges on the way. I know I also had such hindrances. I also had such blockages when I was starting out in cybersecurity. So thank you so much, everyone. So this is going to be our final question. Please, please, we may not be able to take all your questions because of our time. So, like I said, Onyeye, you can repost our speakers' LinkedIn so they can follow them and, reach out to them later on. And if possible, we can also have another session later on. Bring them back in, and so you can ask your questions. So I'm going to be closing out with this final question by Daniel here. Okay. Daniel says, would you advise pursuing remote or physical internships and job positions as a beginner here in Nigeria? What are your thoughts on this, our guest speakers? Abdurrahman, let's hear you.
I think for me, I think it depends on the position you're going for. If you're maybe going for soccer now, where you'd have to watch them monitor these things now, I would say, oh, you can go for physical internships. But if it is maybe like penetration testing, where you just come online, you discuss, you show each other how to go about doing things, yeah, you can opt for remote. But honestly, I would advise you pursue both. So anyone who works, but if it is for SOC related, I would advise you just pursue physical internships. So you see exactly how everything is. So yeah, that's what I would advise you to.
Thank you so much. Shalom, anything you want to add to that?
We used to say a beggar does not have a choice. If you are starting out, you don't have that liberty and that choice. You grab whatever comes. Physical, you collect. Remote, you collect. Abdurrahman on this call now can say, I won't take a physical role. I'm bigger than that. You can do that. Maybe I can attempt to try that. Esther can try that too. But you cannot try it. When you are starting out, you collect the one that comes. I moved from Kaduna to Lagos for an internship that gave me a job in 2023. You don't give an excuse that you are just starting out. I packed my bag. I didn't know where I was going to sleep that day I landed Lagos. Heaven knows I didn't know where I was going to stay. But a friend reached out, and I reached out to a friend. I said, see, I have this internship starting by Monday and I don't have where to do. I don't know what to do. What he asked me, Shalom, if you stay in Kaduna, would another opportunity come in Kaduna? Would you get an opportunity in Kaduna? I said, I don't think so. He said, come to Lagos, even if it's under the bridge. You might be listening to me now and Mrs. AK Ireti Oluwa. Ireti called, chatted me, said, You say you're coming to Lagos. I say, yeah. And you don't have it. Are you okay? I say, ma, I'm not okay. I'm looking for opportunity. And anywhere it is, I'm going. I'm not sure I'm fine, but I'm going there. And I came to Lagos, and 3 years down the line, I'm fine. I'm okay. So as when you're starting out, I'm sorry, you don't have the liberty of choosing remote, hybrid. It's anyone that comes, you collect it. If you have to change or move states, you please do that. If you have to squat at the beginning, it is part of the story. In 1 year time, when you are just yourself, you say, do you know how I started? It's part of the story. Nobody will look at me today and think that there was ever a day I was standing in Kaduna and I did not know where I was going to sleep if I come to Lagos. Nobody knows that. Nobody knew the challenge from the beginning. Nobody knows that. I'm okay, I'm fine now. And that is because I dared to. Till today, I have people that reach out and say, how are you able to do that as a lady? How are you able to not care about it and just take action? I just called my dad. I said, Daddy, I have an opportunity. Me, I'm going. No. He said, what will happen for the next 6 weeks? Where would you stay? I said, I don't know, but somehow I will be fine. And I'm fine. So you don't have this question as a beginner. Don't ask it. I'm sorry, but don't ask it. Don't ask it. I'm sorry. Just take whatever comes, my dear. You'll be fine.
Thank you so much, Shalom. I think that was very inspiring, really. Uh, I think the most important thing is to just get your foot in the door first, right? Just get there, then, you know. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really, really loved your response. Esther, you want to add anything to what Shalom has said?
Think I do actually share Shalom's sentiment about this question, and that's because, like she rightly mentioned, as a beginner, you might not have so much choice to maybe be choosing from a physical or a remote. But in some cases, there are actually remote internships, and if those are, the type of internships that you would like to be a part of, then you can apply for those. But as a beginner, like you are taking on a role. For me, remote roles are a no-no. Why? Because so far for the past, I think 2 years, I've been able to learn so much from the people that I work with. Um, right now I have to commute like about 2 hours to get to work and 2 hours to, return back home. And I made that sacrifice because I know what I've worked remotely, and that's where I'm speaking from. I worked remotely previously, and then I transitioned into like a physical role. And I would say that it's been an amazing experience. I've got to grow in terms of not just the technical skills, but then other areas of my life, being able to communicate better, seeing how other of my colleagues handle issues, speak to clients. The confidence somehow started getting into me, and I became more confident in front of clients when speaking to my bosses and every other thing. So I think, in a way, I would say for beginners starting out in cybersecurity for a role, a paid role, I wouldn't advise remote positions because you might not be able to learn so much. You might just be able to, you'll be limited to the knowledge that you have and not the knowledge that you can gain from others. So I think that would be it for me. So for internships, sometimes it's not paid. So for some people, they might not be able to make that sacrifice to actually use their own finances to, commute to and fro. So for that, I can say that, pursuing remote roles or remote opportunities would suffice. But for paid roles, I would say physical opportunities would do more in terms of helping you grow as a cybersecurity professional.
Thank you, Esther, for that beautiful way to round this off. I also subscribe to the idea that you should pursue a physical internship if you can, especially if you're starting out, because you're building more than just your technical skills when you're in an environment with colleagues, and you're able to improve your skills in terms of your communication skills, your confidence, and what have you.
I think, hi guys. I think Dami is having some network issues. I'm trying to reach out to her just to confirm. So just give us a couple of minutes and we'll get back to you. Apologies for the break in transmission.
Okay, apologies for that technical glitch. Okay, so I'm back. I'm back. Apologies for that. So, this was a really great way to end this session, and I want to believe that the interns, of course, have learned a great deal from our amazing speakers here. And I don't know if any of our speakers want to give just few words before they sign off to the interns. Just maybe 10 seconds or less.
I think I might have a few words, and that's because, I've watched them and also been with them throughout this journey. And I would say that, yeah, there were about 40 something or 47, I think, of them that actually started out as cohort. And now we have about 20 something that are still active. So the other 20 something, I don't know what happened, but I'm speaking to the people that we still have as part of the cohort. You've done a wonderful job. This is the beginning part of the whole journey. This is so when you tell your story about getting into cybersecurity, I'm sure that Go2Cyber would, play a huge part in that. So I'm sure that you've learned a whole lot from this session, and I would advise that you continue on the path. You might experience some hiccups down the road, some difficulties, but I can promise you that if you stay on course with your plan to becoming a cybersecurity professional, you would definitely benefit from it at the long run. There is no one that I actually know that stuck with cybersecurity to the end that regretted that action. Um, I'm a proof of that resilience. I'm sure Shalom is, Dami as well, Abdul Raham. We all face issues, difficulties starting out, but here we are actually enjoying the work that we've put in. So continue putting in the work, don't give up. And I'm sure that in the end, you will come out victorious. So I think that would be all from me. Thank you.
Yeah, what a beautiful way to close that. Abdurrahman, do you have any closing words for our viewers?
I think Ogechi has said everything. So one more thing I would add is try everything. Try everything. You see, one part does not work, try another thing. Learn to troubleshoot issues too. So it's still the same resilience Ogechi was talking about. So yeah, that's just what I would just add to everything.
Thank you. Amazing way to close. Shalom, our final speaker.
Okay, so from my end, um, they've said almost everything I would have wanted to say. I would say don't get discouraged, even when it gets hard. Keep pushing. Your first role might not come in the first month, first 6 months, and you might find out that everybody on this cohort gets a job and you do not get a job. It does not mean that you would not eventually have a job. Just keep trying, keep pushing.
Shalom for that beautiful way to close this session. And I want to say thank you to our amazing guest speakers today, Abdurrahman, Esther, and Shalom. Thank you so much for being here and honoring our invitation, and of course, being so open to sharing your experience with everyone here today. And we do not take this for granted, and we hope that next time when we invite you for our future sessions, you do well to, of course, honor our invitations, right? Awesome. And of course, to our interns, both the ones who joined us on screen, Myra, Paula, and Adetoye, thank you so much, of course, for taking time out to be here. We know the preparation that has gone into being able to be available for this session. So we say a very big thank you from the Go2Cyber team. And of course, as a community, we are here for you, and we're, of course, supporting you in every single way. And of course, to everyone else who's watching, our interns, non interns, thank you for being a big part of this. We appreciate the effort that you've taken to be here today on a Saturday. We know it's not easy. So, thank you so much for your time. Now, I think it's the closing of the session. Give me a minute while I. All right, so we before I close out, I don't know if Esther has, any words as the, of course, the head of business unit at Go2Cyber.
I think it's been a wonderful session. I did learn a lot from, other guest speakers, and I'm sure the interns and every other person watching actually got to get the first-hand experience of what it is like working in cybersecurity across the different parts. So I think my final words would be again to our interns, because they are the ones that we specifically organize these programs for. Do well to reach out to us, and I mean by us, I mean myself, Dami, and also the guest speakers that we had on the call. For questions, if you have any questions, if you need responses, we are here to guide you. We're here to direct you and to also help you grow in cybersecurity. So do well to reach out to us and maybe any other cybersecurity professional that you would like to connect with. One thing I would tell you is people in cybersecurity are actually very, very open and willing to help. So I'm sure that you would find someone who would be willing to mentor you, guide you further as you go down the path to becoming a cybersecurity professional. And do well to stay on course and don't give up. That will be all from me.
Thank you. And of course, I have to mention our community manager Onyinye as well for taking time out to be here as well. Thank you so much, Onyinye, for being present. And that's going to be it from us today. This has been Ask a Cyber Professional. Thank you for spending this time with us, and we will see you at the next one. Bye.